In the bustling city of Shibuya, Japan, where the rhythm of life moved to the beat of trains, car horns, and hurried footsteps, a story unfolded that etched itself into the hearts of all who heard it. A story not of man, nor of fortune or fame, but of a dog whose loyalty and honesty transcended life itself. This is not just a tale of fur and wagging tails. It is a story of what it means to truly love, to truly trust, and to truly be loyal, even when the world stops noticing. In 1923, Professor Hachiko Ueno was a quiet man, a scholar of agriculture at Tokyo University. He lived a simple, disciplined life. Books were his closest companions, and the rustling of leaves in his garden often comforted him more than the chatter of crowded streets. But something in his life felt missing, something unspoken, something warm. One spring morning, his friend arrived from Akita Prefecture with a small surprise, a puppy just a few weeks old. The breed was Akita, noble and proud, with a thick coat of white and cream and eyes like shimmering coals. The professor looked into those eyes and felt something stir inside him. "I'll name you Hachiko," he whispered. 8 is a lucky number. May we bring each other luck. From that moment, an unspoken contract was sealed. Not in ink, but in soul. Hachiko grew quickly, and with every passing day, his bond with Professor Ueno deepened. He began to accompany the professor to Shibuya Station every morning, trotting proudly at his side. The professor would board his train to the university, give Hachiko a gentle pat on the head, and whisper, "I'll be back at 3. Like clockwork, Hachiko would return in the afternoon and wait at the station's gate. At 3 o'clock, the train would hiss into the platform, and the professor would step out, greeted by a wagging tail and adoring eyes. Rain or shine, snow or storm, Hachiko waited. And so began a ritual that became the heartbeat of their lives. Simple, honest, and true. On a warm May afternoon in 1925, Professor Ueno left for work as usual. Hachiko followed him to the station and watched as the train disappeared into the horizon. But that day, the professor didn't come back. While delivering a lecture at the university, Ueno collapsed from a cerebral hemorrhage and passed away. No goodbyes, no last moments. Back in Shibuya, Hachiko waited. The train came. The passengers disembarked, but the familiar face never appeared. Still, Hachiko waited. That evening, the professor's family came to collect his things, and Hachiko returned with them. But the next day, at precisely 3 o'clock, he escaped and returned to the station. And the next day, and the day after that, for weeks, then months, Hachiko waited. At first, the people of Shibuya thought he was a stray. Some pushed him away. Some pitied him. Others brought him scraps of food. But every day, he returned at the same time, sitting by the ticket gate, ears perked, eyes scanning the faces, tail wagging at every man in a suit. He believed, and that belief never faltered. His fur grew ragged. The seasons passed. The station staff grew older. A newspaper article featured him, the loyal dog of Shibuya. People began to watch for him. Children brought him treats. He became a quiet legend, not because he barked, but because he never left. Hachiko never looked for a new master. He never moved on. His heart had made a promise, and he kept it. There's a kind of trust that is born not of words, but of presence. Hachiko trusted that his master had not abandoned him. He did not question. He did not complain. He simply believed that where he had last seen love, he would see it again. He was mocked by some. A few thought him foolish, but real trust, true trust, isn't about logic. It's about knowing in your soul that someone will be there, even when the world tells you they won't. Every afternoon, as the hands of the clock neared 3, Hachiko would rise, stretch his aging legs, and walk to the same spot. And every evening, he would walk away alone. Yet he never gave up. As the years passed, the city changed. New buildings sprouted. Cars replaced carriages. But one thing never changed: Hachiko's presence. The station became more than a transit hub. It became a place of pilgrimage for those who wanted to see the dog who waited. To them, he wasn't just a dog. He was a symbol of love unshaken by time, of devotion unbroken by death. His face grew gray. His walk slowed. But his eyes never lost their light. On a cold March morning in 1935, Hachiko was found lying peacefully near the station gate. the place where he had waited for nearly 10 years. He had passed away quietly, the way he had lived. The city mourned. Thousands attended his memorial. Letters poured in from around the world. A statue was commissioned, and it still stands today outside Shibuya Station. The statue of a dog looking outward, waiting not for a train, but for hope. Hachiko's story is more than an anecdote of animal loyalty. It is a mirror to our own hearts. We live in a world of fleeting connections, where promises are broken as quickly as they're made. In such a world, honesty can seem old-fashioned. Trust can seem risky. Loyalty can feel like a burden. But Hachiko reminds us that these virtues are not weaknesses. They're the cornerstones of love. He teaches us that being honest is not just about telling the truth with words, but living truthfully with actions. That trust is not blind. It is brave. It is choosing to believe even when you don't know the outcome. And that loyalty is not about being perfect. It's about showing up again and again, even when no one's watching. You and I may never wait at a train station for someone who never returns. But each of us waits in our own way for someone to come back, for a second chance, for love to find us, or for a broken trust to heal. And like Hachiko, we must choose what kind of people we want to be in those moments. Will we give up, or will we stand, eyes wide open, heart unguarded, waiting with faith? Hachiko didn't know he was making history. He wasn't trying to inspire. He was just doing what he believed was right. And in doing so, he changed the world. Chapter 10. The statue still waits. Today, the statue of Hachiko remains one of Tokyo's most beloved landmarks. Lovers meet there. Friends reunite. Tourists snap photos. Children play. But if you look closely at that bronze figure, you'll see more than a dog. You'll see a heart that never gave up. You'll see eyes that held a silent promise. You'll see a reminder that loyalty lives on, even after the world has moved on. Final words, a challenge for us all. Be like Hachiko. Be honest in a world that thrives on pretense. Trust, even when it's hard. Be loyal, not because you are bound, but because you're free to choose. Choose to stay. Choose to believe. Choose to wait, not with despair, but with dignity. Because in the end, it is not grand gestures or loud declarations that change lives. It is quiet faith. It is unwavering love. It is waiting even when no one else would.